Alright, so let's talk about 2024. Nintendo's big plans for 2024. What is actually happening? Now, just about a week ago, we made a video talking about what is the big game going to be for next year, and that's still kind of a mystery in a way. I feel like a lot of us are expecting it to be that big 3D Mario that's been rumored. It's apparently going to be open world. But today I want to discuss more the year as a whole. What is Nintendo's plans? What are going to be the big things? What are going to be the small things? What is their goal for 2024? And I kind of want to discuss what I think that's going to be based off of some rumors, based off of what we have already, and just some other information. But last night was the Game Awards. Nintendo did go home with 4 awards for Pikmin 4, Mario Wonder, and Tears of the Kingdom, so that's awesome. Pikmin 4, in my opinion, being the big winner because, oh my goodness, winning the best strategy sim game is awesome for Pikmin 4. I love Pikmin and it needs more representation, it needs more love, and this is definitely some love. So, congrats to Pikmin 4. But let's talk about 2024 now, because the year is pretty much wrapped up. Everything is out, everything is talked about. There's not going to be any more reveals or events because the Game Awards is now officially done, so it's officially time to talk about what's next. Because, yeah, next year feels kind of light right now, believe it or not, because it feels like a lot of ports and spin-offs with no real big titles. Right now, we have Mario vs. Donkey Kong, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door HD, Code Recollection HD, Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC. So yeah, all those things are pretty small in comparison to any like big titles that we've gotten in the past. There's no big Zeldas, big Marios, big Donkey Kongs, big Metroids, anything along those lines. So yeah, and that's probably gonna wrap up most of the first half of the year if I'm not mistaken. The funny part is, that's probably not even all the ports or remasters that we're going to get, because there's been reports and even leaks and rumors of more coming next year, such as Zelda Ocarina of Time now, that just came out of nowhere. Ocarina of Time HD could be happening. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess HD ports, maybe they're all together in a big collection pack like Mario 3D All-Stars, who knows? F-Zero GX has been rumored multiple times to have an HD remaster. Metroid Prime 2 and 3 HD are apparently definitely happening. After 1 happened, apparently 2 and 3 are going to happen before 4 is even out. Kid Icarus Uprising HD is something that a lot of people have been asking for, and there's been some slight rumors about that. There's been huge rumors of some type of Fire Emblem remake for years now, and we haven't seen it yet. But there's lots of other games as well that could be ported over, remastered, remade. I mean, they could even throw us Mario Galaxy 2 or something else for sure next year. And it just feels like it's the year for that, and that's what Nintendo is actually aiming to do. So what's the big games? What's the thing that's going to really shake things up? And like I said, I made a whole video on this, but right now the only thing that's actually been revealed is Princess Peach Showtime to be coming in March, which is the biggest game we have next year because it's one of the only new original games that we know of. And let's be honest, Princess Peach Showtime looks great. It's probably going to be a fun time and a fun experience, but at the same time, it's not going to be the next big Mario. It's not going to be the next big Zelda. I don't even think it's going to be like a Kirby. I think it's going to be more along the lines of a Yoshi game, maybe even a little bit smaller. And I hope that's not the case. I hope there's actually just a lot to it and people actually end up loving it. But so far, even the fan reception, not a lot of people care. I mean, I've even made lots of videos on this and people just don't seem to be that interested in this game compared to others. And that's okay, it's still early, maybe there's going to be some later love for it, but yeah, it just feels like one of those games that Nintendo had left over and that they're going to just end the Switch with, you know, like, hey, we still had this Princess Peach 3D adventure game, let's hurry up and put that out before the Switch moves on, before we move on to bigger and better things. But that's the only thing that's been announced, that is the only thing that we know about. Now, I'm not going to be the first to say this, but I feel like next year is definitely going to be a get-by year, at least for the first 3 quarters of the year. I feel like it's going to be filled of like fan favorite ports and remasters to keep people entertained, mostly playing older games that we've already played, and then they're going to slam us at the end of the year with some big new things. Yes, I still do believe that the next console is happening next year. I think there's going to be some big announcements for this, but I think Nintendo is going to keep the hype for that console towards the end of the year. They're going to be like, you're going to be so excited to play on this new console with this big 3D open world Mario game, but you gotta wait until October. You gotta wait until until November in order to play these games, in order to play with this console. But don't worry, we have tons of fun fan favorite games coming to the Switch throughout the rest of this year before we even get there, at least holding us off, and I think that's completely fine, because at the same time, even though that there's some big stuff that's happening, but it's going to be at the end of the year, Nintendo has announced this stuff very soon, if it is coming at the end of next year. So I definitely would expect like a year in advance to prepare for something as big as a big open world Mario or the next console. So that means maybe in January or even the February Direct time, we could be receiving something bigger than just a Nintendo Direct focused on the Nintendo Switch. This could actually be the first Nintendo Direct that focuses on the new console, or that at least mentions something of the new console. It's not just Mario, however. I think there's more opportunities for even other big games that we just haven't heard about yet. For instance, Metroid Prime 4 could be announced this year, or at least talked about this year. It may not come this year, but it could definitely be talked about. We don't have any gameplay, anything behind the thing. I mean, since it got rebooted, we really haven't seen or heard anything from the game. So I would definitely expect something now. I think this is the year where we finally do see something. And I haven't actually said this. I've been one of the people that have not been talking about Metroid Prime 4 for the last couple of years, because I felt like it wasn't time. This year is time, for sure. I say this every single time, but I definitely feel like something Donkey Kong is right around the corner. It just makes sense. Next year will mark 10 years since the last original brand new Donkey Kong game, which was Tropical Freeze on the Wii U in 2014. They eventually brought it back to the Switch, which is cool and all, but it's the same exact game with Funky Kong added. So they definitely need something, whether it's 2D, 3D, whatever it is. There's been so many rumors of something Donkey Kong was supposed to be happening. I mean, I could even see this being one of the last major games on the Switch right after Princess Peach, maybe this summer, maybe this fall, to kind of tie us over before going on to the next console. So I would definitely expect something Donkey Kong for this upcoming Nintendo Direct or presentation, whatever it is. But yeah, I'd be very surprised if we still haven't seen anything from the ape. I'm telling you right now, I am excited for next year. At least we have tons of games to look forward to. There are a majority of old games and of course DLC for Splatoon, but at the same time, there's some really fan favorites like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Are you kidding me? I guess that's about it, because Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon wasn't really a big fan favorite, and I don't think anybody really thought Mario vs. Donkey Kong was going to come back from the Game Boy Advance. But I love all those games. I think it's going to be a fun time just to have that nostalgia, at least for me, but it should be enough to hold us off until the end of the year where the big brand new stuff is probably going to happen. And I'm just hoping Princess Peach is actually a lot better than what we're expecting, at least what I'm expecting. I hope it actually just does well and beyond what I thought it was going to do. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think Nintendo's going to do in 2024. What's Nintendo's game plan? Is their game plan really just to have all remasters and ports until the end of the year? Let me know what you think, and let me know if you agree or disagree down below. And make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out if you want to stay up to date on Mario, Zelda, Kirby, and everything Nintendo. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.